Hi guys, welcome back to Kim's class. This unit will be a series of 9 lessons about the parts of speech. For many of you, this will be a review, but it's such an important concept when learning English that I feel that it's valuable even if it is a review. It not only helps you write great sentences that are structurally accurate, it also helps you expand your vocabulary. In this unit, I will be teaching articles in a separate lesson, but there are a series of 9 lessons. After each of the 9 lessons, there'll be a link for you to practice what you have learned. You'll find that link in the description of each of the 9 videos. So let's look at the 8 parts of speech. Most linguists say that there are 8. Each part of speech explains not just what the word is, but how the word is used. In fact, some words can be used as a noun in one sentence and a verb or an adjective in the next. For example, we have nouns, verbs, adjectives and articles, adverbs, pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. As I said, learning these parts of speech is very important. Even people who speak English as their native language need to practice this concept. But English sentences can all be divided into their parts of speech. When we know these parts of speech, it can help you understand much better. It helps with your listening, your reading, your writing, and your speaking skills. See why that might be valuable? When you study vocabulary, it's also very important that you pay attention to the parts of speech. The first part of speech we will be reviewing are nouns. Our learning objectives say, I can define a noun. The second objective says, I know the 2 different types of nouns and the subcategories for each. Our last objective says, I understand how suffixes in English can be used to form nouns. Now, let's look at the definition of a noun. A noun answers one of 2 questions. It either answers who or what. When looking at a sentence and trying to find out what words or nouns, it's helpful to ask yourself who or what did the action or was affected by the action. The basic definition of a noun, which I'm sure you all know, is a person, place, thing, or idea. Now, it's important to remember that a noun is not always a tangible object, which means something you can touch. Sometimes nouns can be intangible, which means you can't touch it. Intangible nouns are things like showing quality, like joy, or happiness, or friendship. So, there are 2 types of nouns. When we're looking at nouns in the English language, you probably noticed that there was those 2 types of nouns. Understanding the different types of nouns and what they're used for will allow you to put your sentences together correctly. To make this easier to understand, I've broken up the types of noun into 2 main categories: concrete nouns and abstract nouns. Each of the two categories can also be broken up into smaller categories. Let's go ahead and look at each type of noun individually. The first type of noun is a concrete noun. Now, concrete nouns are the touchable, tangible nouns. They are people, places, and things that we experience with one of our 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, smell. Some examples of common nouns could include fox, book, letter, or state. Now, another thing to know about common nouns is that they are common. We do not use a capital letter. We keep a lowercase letter. That's different than a proper noun. A proper noun names a specific person, place, or thing. These nouns always begin with a capital letter. An example of common nouns would be boy, but a proper noun might be his name, Sam. Another example of a proper noun would be Queen Elizabeth, Washington, D.C., Stanford University, or Times Square. Now we also have count and non-count nouns. Sometimes these types of nouns can be confusing, but the basic definition is that a count noun can have a singular or a plural form, when a non-count noun cannot. A count noun can also have a number in front of it. 1 boy, 1 girl. Most concrete nouns are count nouns, but not all. Things like potatoes, dresses, feet are count nouns, but things like rain, milk, and bread are all non-count nouns. Now, the next type of noun we have is called a collective noun, and that refers to groups of people or things that is more than one, but we do not use the plural S marker at the end of the word. For example, audience, family, government, team, people, children. These are groups of people or things that are more than one, but there was no S at the end of the word. Now, it's important to know that in English, most collective nouns, they're treated as singular with a singular verb. Now, the next type of noun is a compound noun. A compound noun is made up with 2 or more nouns. There are 3 types of compound nouns. There are open or spaced compound nouns, like the word tennis, shoe. There are hyphenated compound nouns, which have the hyphen between them, like in the word 6, pack. And then there are closed or no-spaced compound nouns, like the word bedroom. Now, the last type of concrete nouns we're going to talk about are possessive nouns. Possessive nouns are nouns that name who or what owns or has possession of something. In most cases, for singular nouns, to show possession, we would add an apostrophe S. For plural nouns, we simply add an apostrophe, except for those few plural nouns that don't end in S. So that's a quick summary of concrete nouns. Let's talk about the second type of noun, which is an abstract noun. Now, an abstract noun cannot be experienced with the senses. They're usually emotions or ideas or qualities. Some common abstract nouns I'm sure you've seen before are like the words life or love or anger. But there are also different types of abstract nouns that are using prefixes. So you'll see on the other side of the screen examples of these types of abstract nouns. In English, many abstract nouns are formed by adding noun-forming suffixes. The most common suffixes used to form abstract nouns in English are ance, like in the word importance, ence, like in the word difference, ship, in the word friendship, al, like in refusal, ness, like in happiness, ure, like in the word adventure, ity, like in the word ability, age, like advantage, ion, like in the word satisfaction, and ment, like in the word amazement. I realize that's a lot of information, but let's look at today's objectives and see how we did. Can you identify and define a noun? Do you know the two different types of nouns and the subcategories for each? Do you understand how suffixes in English can be used to form nouns? I think you do. So that's it for today's lesson. Remember that in the description of this video is a link to activities to help you practice what you just learned. But before you go, I'd like to ask you to do a few things. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you think that you would be interested in learning when I post new videos, make sure you subscribe to this channel. How about if you think you have friends that might be interested in learning about parts of speech? Well, share it with them. I would also really enjoy if you would make a comment in the comment section. Try and write a good sentence using the parts of speech you learned today. And lastly, please don't forget what a blessing it is for me to share my passion with you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to come on this journey with you to learn English. Goodbye for now. I can't wait to see you.